on with new details in the case of a former inmate suing the current and former sheriffs of Columbus County. Joshua Johnson says staff at the county jail failed to protect him from a brutal assault. He ended up in the hospital. Johnson is now suing the former sheriff, Jody Green, the current sheriff, Bill Rogers, and two staff members at the county jail. WECT's Zach Solon talked to Johnson's lawyer and has those new details for us tonight. Now, Zach, the lawsuit alleges that there's a culture of negligence at the county jail, or was under former Sheriff Jody Green.
Yes, it does, John. Joshua Johnson's lawyers say Columbus County Detention Center staff failed to do basic duties and didn't care about inmate safety. A civil lawsuit filed by Joshua Johnson, a former Columbus County Detention Center inmate, details an alleged culture of misconduct and negligence among jail staff and former Sheriff Jody Green. Johnson was allegedly assaulted at the jail in August of 2022 by 4 other inmates. Those inmates now face attempted murder charges. Johnson's lawyer, Bradley Bannon, says detention center staff routinely failed to protect inmates.
This lawsuit is about the fact that this assault never should have happened, and if the bare basic minimum constitutional requirements of holding people in custody before they are ever tried had been met, then it wouldn't have happened.
Bannon says Johnson suffered a brain injury and still feels the lasting effects of the assault.
It forever changed him. It, brings with it the kind of pain that you can only imagine would come with having to relive this experience.
The lawsuit accuses jail staff of ignoring Johnson's request to be moved to a different cell pod. Bannon says it took more than 20 minutes for a guard to respond.
If those people aren't doing their job and conducting these monitoring exercises and doing the backup work that needs to be done to make sure that these places are safe, this is an inevitable thing.
Bannon says Columbus County Jail employees failed to complete required surveillance rounds while ignoring security camera video and inmates' calls for help through cell intercoms. Johnson was in jail awaiting trial on misdemeanor charges. Bannon says those charges have been resolved. Johnson is suing Green, current Sheriff Bill Rogers, and the captain and the officer on duty at the detention center at the time of the alleged assault. Rogers had no comment. I have not heard back from Green. John, jail inspection reports from last year show the Columbus County Detention Center was cited twice for supervision issues. District Attorney John David also referenced the alleged assault against Johnson in his petition to remove Green from office last year.
And we'll continue to follow it and see if anything comes out of this lawsuit, Zach. Thanks.